Welcome to How to Run Profitable Retreats. I am Lainey Cavazos, retreat strategist and host of the show for coaches, entrepreneurs, and transformational leaders who want to design retreats that actually make money. If you've ever put your heart into a retreat only to walk away exhausted or worse, broke, you are not alone. This podcast is here to change that. Each week, I'll bring you stories, strategies, and expert insights to help you create meaningful, transformational retreats that also support your business, your lifestyle, and your bottom line. Let's make your next retreat not just powerful, but profitable. Hello, welcome back to another podcast episode of How to Run Profitable Retreats. I am your host, Lainey Cavazos, and I'm so excited to have with me today Amanda Hietter. And she is the CEO of Across the Horizon Travel and the creator of Heat Up Your Retreats, where she helps coaches, pastors, and business leaders design transformational retreats and experiences around the world. Through her work, she equips leaders to grow their impact, deepen relationships, and create unforgettable travel experiences for their community. Amanda, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah, so basically, for everyone who's listening, Amanda is one of our speakers at the Sellout Retreat Summit that is taking place in Mexico this year. So I wanted to have her here so we could really talk about why coaches and speakers and leaders should be hosting a retreat. So first, tell me, Amanda, what is the biggest thing that gets you excited to think about retreats?
Ooh, honestly, my favorite part of it all is finding that perfect destination that's going to fit the retreat. So I just love looking at beautiful destinations in the mountains or by the beach, which is where we're going to be kind of close to somewhat. And I thoroughly enjoy that. That's the fun part of it. And then really diving into the why of why someone wants to host a retreat and who it's for. Those two things get me so excited.
Perfect. That's so great. And tell us a little bit about what you're going to be talking at the Sellout Retreat Summit this year.
So I'm actually going to be doing a workshop, which this is my first ever doing like a workshop in front of a larger crowd. I've done very small, intensive workshops with like about 10 people, where it gives me kind of a little bit more of that like one-on-one experience with them. But we're going to focus on the retreat blueprint. And I'm going to walk through in the short 45 minutes the different steps of how to even get started with that. And some people don't even really know where to start. And it honestly starts with your why. Why do you want to do this? Who are you trying to reach? What is the point of this retreat? And then walking through the steps of even like reaching out to different properties and negotiating rates, marketing your retreat, going live and sharing things on your socials. There's a lot of steps that go into that. So I'm going to kind of just put it all down in the little 45-minute workshop and provide a handbook for each of the attendees to bring home and really dive into that a little bit more and making that experience come to life.
I love this. And tell me, I know you have a travel agency. How did that end up happening for you? And why a travel agency for retreats?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory. So, I've always loved to travel since I was a little kid. As a kid, my parents would take us on a trip every year over the summer. And as I got older, I thoroughly enjoyed helping figure out the next destination we were going to. And then into my adulthood, I kind of brought that love of travel with planning trips for friends and family. So then, post COVID, when things were starting to open up, my kids were getting older, and I really wanted to be able to travel a lot more. And I realized I was really good at building itineraries and loved guiding people on places to go. So I decided to start my own agency. And over time, I did a lot of the romance and family travel. I realized that that was not the niche I wanted to be a part of. I wanted to do something that really would be kind of a change maker in the world. And with the expertise that I had with being a paralegal for 15 years of my life, with negotiating contracts and things like that, and then also in the travel space, I realized that there really was a need for someone to come in and handle all the travel logistics for coaches and speakers that were putting together these retreats. And I realized there was not really a whole lot of people out there that were doing that were in the travel space like I am. So as soon as I started putting that out there, I realized there was a heavy, heavy need. And a lot of people were like, all right, let's talk. I want to plan something in a couple years. What does this entail? And I was able to be that guide and that I call myself kind of the right hand wing woman to help them plan that experience that they've wanted to do for so long and make it come to life. So it's a lot of fun being able to partner with other entrepreneurs that are really wanting to do something amazing, like go to a bucket list destination with a group of people. So it's a lot of fun. I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy it.
I love this. Amanda, and tell me, for everyone who's listening, what would be like the top three things that people need to consider when they're searching for a travel agency to work with? Like, what are those things that you like, those tough questions that need to be asked that most people avoid?
That is a good question. I am a type of person that I'm all about vibe checks. So when I hop on a call, if I feel that there's a good vibe, you know it's going to be okay. Like you can usually tell, like us women, we have that like inner gut instinct of like if someone's someone we want to work with or not. So I recommend hop on a Zoom call and get to know that person. A lot of people nowadays post COVID don't even want to hop on a Zoom call. They just want to text or they want to email. You need to see the vibe check. See if they're going to be somebody that's going to partner with you. Also, you kind of want to do a little bit of a knowledge check with a travel agent that you're partnering with. Ask them questions that maybe you might know the answer to somewhat to see how they respond, or even just ask them difficult questions that are to see what their experience is. And then I always think it's important to ask the travel agent where they have helped host retreats at, because that is key. If they've never, helped someone with a trip maybe to Asia, and that's where you're wanting to go, maybe kind of rethink if that's the right travel agent to partner with.
Mm. Yeah, I think this is so important what you're talking about because, first of all, I do love the idea of asking those questions that you might already know the answer to see how they see it, to see if the approach and the way they do things is actually a match to you. Because so
Yeah,
many times we just assume that because we know it, they know it.
exactly.
And the truth
Exactly.
is, so many times it's not that, that's not the case.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So when we're thinking about it from that perspective, it just changes everything that we do and how we do it because it ensures that we are hiring the right person that will support us through the journey. And then the third part that you mentioned that I think it's also very important is, do they have experience in the market that you are reaching? That place where you want to go, because if they have to
Mm-hmm.
start from scratch, they probably don't have the best like community. Maybe they don't have the best contacts. Maybe they don't know exactly what is the best place for you to go. So really thinking through the process of, do they know where I'm going or do they need to start from scratch? Because so many
Yes.
times we just assume that, oh, because they're a travel agent, they should be able to do a good job. But usually travel agencies, they have these areas where they're specialized that they know the best. So, for example,
Mm-hmm.
I know people who do retreats in Italy, and then they just want to hire someone whose their like specialty is Italy
Yes.
or
A
Asia,
hundred
right?
percent.
Like Bali. It's very specific. So, if we really think about and consider about Bali, for example, if you're hosting a retreat in that region, you need a work visa,
Mm-hmm.
and most people don't consider that. And then they go, they are hosting the retreat, and then they get a fine.
Wow. Yeah, that's so true. Wow. And a lot of people don't even think to partner with a travel agent. They're like, oh, well, this is my first time. I want to do it on my own. Or they don't even think about partnering with anyone. And there is a lot of research, like you said, where there's work visas. I know even just going into like Mexico, for instance, which is where you're located, that if someone is bringing in like their own photography equipment or videography equipment, there are different processes with that of you having to make sure that you are legally able to do those types types of things. So a lot of people don't think about that, and you want to partner with a professional that's done this before and really think about how much value they're going to provide on top of like knowing the things. They're even going to be able to make sure logistically, like travel, like you want to make sure that the location you're looking at is not super far from an airport. If it's 2 or 3 hours away, a lot of people are going to go, okay, well, I've already traveled half the day. Then I have to hop in a bus or a van for another couple hours. Like, that's not ideal for a retreat. You want to start out in destination, have a quick ride somewhere and get there and be able to just kind of reset and relax before the retreat starts. So, so key to partner with someone that is a professional in the retreat industry.
Yeah, and from my experience, one of the biggest things that I see is that we do need this place where we can actually hire out. So we have the space and the time to actually do what we're best at and to focus on
Yes.
selling the retreat spots rather than
Mhm.
doing all the research, all the contract management, everything that happens behind the scenes. And most people, when they're starting out, they feel, well, I don't have the budget to do this, right? But actually, if you plan properly, you will have the budget and actually will have more people coming to your retreat because you're putting your energy where it's supposed to be in your zone of
Yeah,
genius.
yeah,
You'll have more
100%. I
time
agree
to
with that.
promote the event. But, and I see this a lot when it comes to retreat leaders out there, where they start with like the venue and they spend months finding a venue and they spend months finding a facilitator and they spend so much time doing that rather than actually selling the retreat space
Hmm.
for the attendees. So I call it hiding behind legwork.
Yes, agreed.
So
Agreed.
because it is a new endeavor, it's something that is outside of your comfort zone. We tend to go towards this direction where we are just looking forward to just doing the BC work, like a BCB.
Mhm.
And from there, you think then, oh, because it's beautiful, the website is perfect, then people will sign up. And that is not a matter of fact.
Agreed.
Great.
100% agree with that. I always tell people too that if you are feeling called into hosting a retreat, you don't always have to know the exact location. Um, obviously you want to pick a continent. So like, it's going to be somewhere in North America or even like in the US or Mexico. Have like a location picked out, but you don't have to have the exact location because you really want to put feelers out there to your audience of are they even going to sign up for something like this? So I always tell retreat leaders when we first start working together, before we even dive into this, reach out to like your Facebook group or your CRM system or wherever you talk with your clientele or your friends or your following. See who's interested and have them get on your VIP list so that once you do have all the details hammered down, those people can be the first ones you reach out to and they're going to sign up and kind of help you get some of that money back immediately that you put down for deposits for a travel planner or for the accommodations or whatever else you need to put down for food and beverage, things like that. So that things move along quickly. You can also even announce this on social media once people sign up of like, hey, this person locked in their spot. That creates FOMO for all the other people that are thinking about attending of like, oh crap, there's already 4 people have signed up. I might miss out. I need to sign up. And that can help quickly sell it out as well.
Yeah, I think these things that you mentioned are so important for anyone who's hosting retreats. And when we think about a marketing campaign, we have to create this curiosity and we need to do market research and we need to test the concept before we even put any money down on a deposit.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, we end up having like there's a lot of expenses that happen behind the scenes when we're putting a retreat together. And if you're just putting your money there and you don't even know if it's going to work or if people are going to say yes, you are putting yourself in a situation that will create stress. And when we're stressed, things don't move along fast enough.
Yes. So true. So true. You don't want added stress because I feel like stress also creates fear where you're going to kind of halt yourself and like put a block up from actually like moving forward and whatever the next steps are. Even if it's a small step, like a baby step of maybe reaching out to one more place to see what rates are, or, texting 10 of your friends saying you're doing something. Those little tiny steps build up to where the retreat, once you finally do fully announce it, have that website looking perfect and all the things, that's when you're going to get those signups real quick. And everybody wants to sell out the retreat quickly because that means that it's going to be great, first off. And second off, it creates FOMO for people that are going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to the next one. And then you're already kind of doing that snowball effect of, okay, the next one, you're already going to have 5 people ready to sign up as soon as you get back.
Yeah, I think this is such an important message for people who are looking to really build this like profitable retreats, because at the end of the day, you need to understand that it is about the compounding effect. So the faster you can sell one retreat, then the next date that you can open. And those who couldn't come to that retreat because of dates and whatnot, they're ready to come to the next one. And
Mhm.
I see it with my clients more often than not, is this snowball effect. But if you just not doing the steps properly, you end up in this phase where there's no snowball effect. It's just a little bit of snow here and there, and it just feels sprinkled all around, and you're not getting those results that you're looking for, because it's all
Yes.
about grit. Like today I was talking to one of my clients, Brent, and he was just saying, oh my gosh, this is like, now he has his retreat in June almost sold out. He has one spot left, but he already got someone to sign up for his retreat in September. And then he also got someone else to sign up for his retreat in Costa Rica, and this is a retreat that is only for people who have attended his retreats, right? So there is this level of growth. And he just said, well, it's all about keep doing it, right? And just staying
Yes.
constant and knowing that it will eventually grow and grow and grow. And I'm so proud of him, because he has not let the ball drop. He just keeps moving forward and moving forward. And then now, after a couple of months working together, we can really see this snowball effect happening for him, because he is doing the right things and he is compounding. And it's so
Hmm.
important when you're doing this, because it allows you to go deeper into your role as a facilitator, as the leader of your
Yes.
retreats.
Hmm.
Well,
Yes, I
Amanda,
agree.
this is so powerful for everyone who's listening. And if you ever consider, should I hire or not a travel agency to work with when I'm hosting and putting together my retreat, I definitely recommend that you explore the option at least. Even if you're not 100% sure, but if you have this, you know, thought of like, oh, maybe this could be something I could do, go get on the phone, right? Do those Zoom calls, find out, see what the costs are, and then make an informed decision for your business.
Yes, agreed.
So, Amanda, we're so excited to have you at the Sellout Retreat Summit in September. This is a women only sellout retreats conference for 3 days, where we have amazing speakers just like yourself. We have Sherry Rosenthal, we had Dr. Amy. So for anyone who's interested, I am going to put in the show notes the link for you to go check out the event. And I hope to be able to see you in Mexico with all these great experts that are going to come and share all the knowledge with you for the foreseeable future, so you can grow and build that retreat business that can be very sustainable and profitable for you. So
I'm
Amanda,
super
thank you so
excited.
much for being here.
Thank
And
you, Lynn.
yeah, and I will see everyone else on our next episode next week. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much.